Mummies are a staple of modern popular culture and are often featured in fictional works of horror. Most of the oldest mummies ever discovered were naturally preserved by such factors as air, desert heat, mud, or layers of thick ice. The oldest intentionally mummified people were found in South America and date back to about 5000 BCE, thousands of years before Egyptians started preserving their dead. Let's take a look at the 5 oldest mummies in the world. Number 5. Ahmose I was a pharaoh and founder of the 18th dynasty of Egypt, classified as the first dynasty of the New Kingdom of Egypt, the era in which ancient Egypt achieved the peak of its power. Ahmose I's mummy was unwrapped by Gaston Maspero on June 9, 1886. It was found within a coffin that bore his name in hieroglyphs, and on his bandages his name was again written in hieratic script. While the cedarwood coffin style dates it squarely to the time of the 18th dynasty. Number 4. Hatshepsut was the 5th pharaoh of the 18th dynasty of Egypt. She was the second historically confirmed female pharaoh, the first being Sobhtneferu. Hatshepsut came to the throne of Egypt in 1478 BC. Hatshepsut died as she was approaching what we would consider middle age given typical contemporary lifespans, in her 22nd regnal year. This mummy was missing a tooth, and the space in the jaw perfectly matched Hatshepsut's existing molar, found in the DB320 canopic box. Her death has since been attributed to a carcinogenic skin lotion found in possession of the pharaoh, which led to her having bone cancer. Other members of the queen's family are thought to have suffered from inflammatory skin diseases that tend to be genetic. It is likely that Hatshepsut inadvertently poisoned herself while trying to soothe her irritated skin. Number 3. Ramesses II, also known as Ramesses the Great, was the 3rd pharaoh of the 19th dynasty of Egypt. He is often regarded as the greatest, most celebrated, and most powerful pharaoh of the New Kingdom, itself the most powerful period of ancient Egypt. His mummy was eventually discovered in TT 320 inside an ordinary wooden coffin and is now in Cairo's Egyptian Museum. The pharaoh's mummy reveals an aquiline nose and strong jaw. During examination, scientific analysis revealed battle wounds, old fractures, arthritis, and poor circulation. Ramesses II's arthritis is believed to have made him walk with a hunched back for the last decades of his life. A 2004 study excluded ankylosing spondylitis as a possible cause and proposed diffuse idiopathic skeletal hyperostosis as a possible alternative, which was confirmed by more recent work. A significant hole in the pharaoh's mandible was detected. Researchers observed an abscess by his teeth which was serious enough to have caused death by infection, although this cannot be determined with certainty. Number 2. Xinzhui, also known as Lady Dai, was the wife of the Li Chang Chancellor of Changsha Kingdom of the Han Dynasty. Xinzui's body was remarkably well preserved in an unknown fluid inside the coffin. Her skin was soft and moist, with muscles that still allowed for her arms and legs to flex at the joints. All her organs and blood vessels were also intact, with small amounts of type of blood being found in her veins. There was hair on her head, with a wig pinned with a hair clasp on the back of her head. There was skin on her face, and her eyelashes and nose hair still exist. The tympanic membrane of her left ear was intact, and her finger and toe prints were distinct. This preservation allowed doctors at Hunan Provincial Medical Institute to perform an autopsy on December 14, 1972. Xinzui's body was soaked in an unknown liquid that was mildly acidic with some magnesium in it. Number 1. Tutankhamun was an ancient Egyptian pharaoh who was the last of his royal family to rule during the end of the 18th dynasty. Tutankhamun took the throne at 8 or 9 years of age. Tutankhamun was physically disabled with a deformity of his left foot along with bone necrosis that required the use of a cane, several of which were found in his tomb, as well as body armor and bows, having been trained in archery. He had other health issues including scoliosis and had contracted several strains of malaria. For many years, rumors of a curse of the pharaohs, probably fueled by newspapers seeking sales at the time of the discovery, persisted, emphasizing the early death of some of those who had entered the tomb. The most prominent was George Herbert, 5th Earl of Carnarvon, who died on April 5, 1923, 5 months after the discovery of the first step leading down to the tomb on November 4, 1922. The cause of Carnarvon's death was pneumonia supervening on facial erysipelas. The Earl had been in an automobile accident in 1901, making him very unhealthy and frail. His doctor recommended a warmer climate, so in 1903 the Carnarvons traveled to Egypt, where the Earl became interested in Egyptology. Along with the stresses of the excavation, Carnarvon was already in a weakened state when an infection led to pneumonia. A study showed that of the 58 people who were present when the two-man sarcophagus were opened, only 8 died within a dozen years. Howard Carter died of lymphoma in 1939 at the age of 64. The last survivors included Lady Evelyn Herbert, Lord Carnarvon's daughter, who was among the first people to enter the tomb after its discovery in November 1922, who lived for a further 57 years and died in 1980, and American archaeologist J.O. Kinnaman, who died in 1961, 39 years after the event.